know what's one thing I realized is that like audience doesn't get to see the face cam.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
every time I do nonsense like this, you know,
Yeah.
they don't get to see that. I said this, they don't know what that is. It's like a visual thing that makes us laugh, and they don't get to see it. They don't get to enjoy that experience. They just get to hear the edited voices come together.
It adds to the allure. You know what I mean? Untitled, unfocused. Tyler, Raymond.
Hey, what's up?
All that fun stuff. Today is something.
The not visual friendly podcast. Not audio friendly. That's a joke. Got him.
Nailed it. Let's go on.
We edit this list real quick. Cancel Cagley Rostro. This is my mini thing I do between Lupin the third, the first, which is a weird name by the way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Right. Today is Don Bluth, right?
It's Don Bluth, dude.
Yep. We did Secret of NIMH.
We do Secret of NIMH.
So, I don't remember if you told me this or not. Have you seen this before?
I have seen this before when I was a kid. This movie spooked me, dude. This is my first time watching it without being spooked because I'm now older.
Oh, sure. Like with like the whole rats, right? I assume that's like the big thing.
Well, it's especially the part when like, what's his name? Nickerpicus or
Nicodermus?
Nicodermus.
Yeah, Nicodermus, I think.
Let me look up the Secret of NIMH characters now.
It sounds
Nicodermus.
like
that is his name. That sounds right. Yeah. Nicodermus. Yeah, I'm not gonna look it up because that does sound right. Yeah, Nicodermus. Yeah, when he's like showing her the amulet, and like it goes like to the flashback of NIMH, and then you see like all the colors, everything. It's like I'm like, what is happening? I'm like, oh, the little kid mind, and all the rats are scurrying, and they're all scared, and I'm like, what? And then when the cinder block is drowning, and the kids are dying, and I'm like,
is this a horror movie?
Yeah, Secret of NIMH went hard for a kid. A kid would never truly appreciate this movie.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man. I think the movie's great.
Great Owl started scary as well.
What was?
When you're a kid, the Great Owl also looking at you like.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. You know, just like being there, you know, and being in the shadows, and then coming down. He's very menacing. And then yeah, just like the way he talks, his like body language and stuff. Oh, it's crazy.
But it's a good movie, though.
Yeah, it's real good. I mean, I wasn't expecting there to be a magic element to this movie, but the first, yeah, well, just like the very first scene, it's like there's this rat and mouse thing, and he's like
it's just writing the words by itself. He's just hovering his quill over the paper, and it's just going.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, there's magic in this movie. Okay, cool. It's kind of like how like Studio Ghibli does their stuff. It's like, oh, there's like magic in here. That's cool. And it's not really a main focus of the movie, I don't think. I mean, it's kind of the thing in the end that everything like coalesces to, and it's like, oh man, we need the amulet to win. But like for the most part, it's just a bunch of animals trying to figure out what to do. We got the sick son. He's useless. I would have just left him. You know, survival of the fittest.
Young Timothy.
Yeah, there's five of us. We lost one. 5 out of 6 ain't bad, you know? Just move on.
Lost 2, man. She's a widow. Took a fat L before the movie even started. Got him.
Her, what was it? Her, like, the mouse thing? The, like, ant or whatever, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the anti-shrew? She's a shrew.
Yeah, shrew. I hated her the whole time.
Yeah, she's not supposed to be likable, dude.
She's a guy. At
least in the beginning, like, you know, like she did her one thing of helping where, like, she stopped the tractor.
Yeah, that was cool. But, like, she just wouldn't listen. She was like, hey, dude,
she's just hard.
Get out of here.
She's hard-headed.
Yeah, you have to leave. And she's like, you don't understand. My son is sick. He can't get out of bed. And she's like, you need to get your son. You need to leave. And I'm like, listen, you're not listening to the words coming out of my mouth.
To be fair, it is moving day. The tractor's going to come through and raise the entire field.
It is
It's
moving.
like
Yeah.
he will die if he just stays there.
Mm,
So you want him to die there, or you want him to die later? Kind of giving him one of the two lesser options. And she's like, "How about I pick the third option and just stop moving there?"
yeah, that's it's a big brain option. But like, even at the very end, he was like still in quarantine, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
these COVID times, he's in quarantine, dude.
no one was wearing a mask. It's crazy. Um, I feel like one thing that's very funny about animated movies is that there's always at least one dude who is like clearly a villain.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like
and like everyone knows except for the people in the actual.
yeah,
Like,
where it's like this like Jenner dude, he's clearly gonna kill like half of you guys. You know, like it's just gonna happen. He's
it's like
ruthless.
it's like once the cinder blocks above Nicodermus, I'll cut these ropes and he'll die. And he's like, "Are you?" It's like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Of course I'm sure. I'm the bad guy."
Yeah, I'm evil. It's what I do. But yeah, man, it's just like it's like Jafar in Aladdin. It's like this dude is he just looks evil,
It's
you
like,
know?
it's like nothing about him is a good vibe. Like,
Yeah, no positive vibes coming from this man. His like only his only friend is a bird. Okay, you know what I mean?
and
Gotta get it
Mr.
out of
H,
here.
he had his one thing where he's like, he's definitely plotting something. Just let him go. It's like,
Yeah,
what? It's like
so,
Mr. H
hold
is
on,
it's like,
something something's happening here.
Mr. H is like,
Um,
he's definitely planning something. I'll just let him do whatever he wants.
um, one thing I really liked about this movie, and I wasn't surprised at all because it's Don Bluth, but the animation and stuff, the
Mhm.
art style is amazing. It's like probably one of the best I've ever seen in any, or like one of my favorite I've ever seen in any movie.
It's
You
pretty
know,
good, dude. It's pretty banging.
yeah. I mean, you could definitely tell it was hand drawn. Everything, just the way it moves. You know, there was a couple shots in there where I thought it was 3D, and like obviously it wasn't because this movie was like made in like '82
Yeah.
or something like that. Like obviously it wasn't, but there was one shot where um the farmer is first riding the tractor,
Mhm.
and it's
Oh
like,
yeah,
"Oh
and I think
man,
the
farmer's
blades
coming."
are whatever.
Yeah. That looked 3D, and I was like, "Is it?" I'm like, "No, it's not," but it kinda looked it. And then, the establishing shot where I was it was a scene you just talked about where, they're all, like, doing the thing with the gears, moving the cinder blocks or whatever.
Mhm.
When the camera first pans down, the, like, gears, the machinery, all kinda looks 3D. I just saw that and I was like, "This is weird." I was like, "Oh, it's just people who know how to make stuff look 3D, I guess," but
They're just good, dude. They're just nice.
yeah, it kinda threw me off a little bit, but, um, I love how, like, y you've mentioned before how you like world building, right? I thought this movie did a pretty good job of it,
It
of
is my secret taste that everyone knows about. Who listens to this podcast where it's like, what does Raymond really enjoy in his works? World building.
world building.
First answer every time.
Um, yeah, I think they do a good job of, like, with all the different almost, like, factions of animals,
Mhm.
and then with them not them not even slowly introducing magic to us, them just being like, "Magic exists," and that's just it. Or they're like the, like, self-awareness of some of these animals is really interesting, where the rats were like, "Hey, we can't let magic get out. We can't be too reckless because then the humans will start getting scientists, and they'll start, like, um, experimenting on us and trying to take it because like, this is a power that humans don't even know of." I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Um,
And they all live in the thorn bush, dude. You see how crazy the thorn bush is?
yeah. It was like it was like almost a, like, living organism where it was, like, moving, like, trying to trap things, trying to
It's
close
so
up certain
labyrinth.
paths.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And
Do you
like the
remember
rats, hyper intelligent, dude.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, obviously after what Nim did, but I mean,
Do you remember, it's a slight tangent, right? Do you remember I mean, do you remember the Percy Jackson books?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I figured. Um, the 4th one is a Labyrinth book.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's really all I had.
It's like yeah, the fourth
Yeah,
book is pretty good, to be
yeah.
honest.
I remember there being discourse amongst, some classmates as well as the librarian in elementary school, because that's when these books came out.
Mhm.
And 4th book came out. I was like, "Ah, it's cool." 5th book came out. Ah, that's cool too. There was discourse amongst which book was better, the 4th book or the 5th book, right?
Which side were you on, dude?
Um, I think I think initially I was on the 5th book, right? Because, as like a dumb kid, a dumb like what, like 4th grader, 5th grader, something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, it's the end. He fights the big bad guy. Happy ending." It has the huge, I mean, literally the biggest, most important battle in the entire series, right? It's obviously a better book. I've read the series since then, not like recently or anything, but the 4th book, very, very well made, and like the whole idea of the labyrinth is, I think, crazier than anything in probably the entire series.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Labyrinth is pretty good, dude. Like, I like 3 as well. Titan. A lot of people don't talk about Titan's Curse a bit.
Yeah,
Titan's Curse is good too.
yeah. I definitely feel like out of all of them, that's the most slept on book.
It's because it's
Is
in
the
the
3rd
middle.
one? Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. That's probably why. Yeah.
Titan's Curse. I mean, like it builds up Dionysus as well. Or like you're sleeping on him, and he's actually like no, you just like Titan's Curse kind of like pushes him more and like builds him up. So you're like, oh, he's all nice. It also builds up for 4 as well with a labyrinth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
I think it also introduces you to Nico as well in Titans.
maybe. Yeah, I don't.
Or it's either they introduce you to Titans or they introduce no, they don't introduce him in Labyrinth. They introduce him in Titans. They're wild
Okay. Yeah.
because at the end of
Um,
Labyrinth, right? The girl wakes up, the tree girl. It's like
oh
Zeus' daughter.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So like yeah, so like Titans Curse introduces you to, like Nico and all that. Yeah, why is Titans Curse left on, dude? That looks killing.
I don't know.
And that's also part of the reason why I keep saying like to you. I guess I'm not sure if you read Heroes of Olympus, but House of Hades is definitely
Which
the best book.
which one is Heroes of Olympus?
That's the second continuation. That's the continuation of Percy Jackson.
I've read the first 2 books of that maybe, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, House of Hades is definitely the best one in that too, because it's like the fourth before the fifth, I believe.
Okay.
But it's like you're basically just focusing on the underworld, and like I think it's just Annabeth and Percy being down there.
Mm, that
That's like one section.
that sounds cool.
It's like
I
one, it's
don't
a new area that no one's ever been in, really for the
Yeah.
most part. But then you're also focusing on Annabeth and Percy being there together, and that dynamic it's playing with.
I know I've read some of those. I don't know where I ended though. I don't remember.
They're all good, dude.
That just gave me an idea. I'm not gonna talk about it right now.
We can
But
be a reader cast as well.
I mean, um, I don't know. Train of thought has left the station. I don't know.
But yeah, man, Secret of NIMH's good, dude. It's crazy.
Secret Name is good. When there was like the sword fight at the end, I was like,
Yeah,
man, they're really going for it, huh?
you
People
know,
are really dying.
so it felt a little Shakespearean there at that moment.
Yeah, yeah, it did. Um, there was something else too. There was one other thing. I don't remember. Yeah, I mean, it's good. That's all I got.
I mean, like when I was little, I didn't know what NIM was. Now I'm like, NIM, dude, that's crazy. I'm not surprised what they did. I mean, they like experimented on rats and mice.
Hmm.
No way, dude, that's crazy. And monkeys? Wow, tell me more.
Yeah, yeah, that was like the big reveal, I guess, right? Because they talked about Nim. Um, And yeah, we found out that they just got it from an experience they had that kind of birthed a lot of this, right?
It's like Miss Jonathan Bisbee.
That was another thing. That was another thing where with the whole world building kind of deal here, the weight that name has, that like family name has, is crazy. You know,
It's like
I mean,
everyone knows her like husband, dude.
yeah, because her husband is literally like the savior.
He's like the savior of all the rats. They
Yeah,
worship. Well, they don't worship him, but like he's like literally what caused everything to happen.
yeah.
Who made them be so good and safe right now?
I'm like, not even just the rats though. The great owl knew
Yeah,
her name. You know,
he was probably experimented on as well. It's crazy. They don't tell you that directly.
I mean, he is the great owl.
It's very wise.
Mm.
Like all the animals, we from what we understand, are also sentient as well, but they're not experimented on though.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have any like higher intelligence. Like,
Unlike the rats.
yeah, and quite possibly the owl. We're not sure. Or maybe he's just like a wise, like owls are wise. That's the whole stereotype, right?
Yeah,
Um,
pineapples don't have legs.
that's true. Yeah.
Remember that one?
Nope. Sure don't.
That was a New York State exam back in school.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, I do remember people talking about that. That was like a meme amongst the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Like that entire section of the test they just took out.
Yeah.
They were like, this section of the test doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
The pineapple versus the hare, or whatever. Moral of the story: pineapples don't have legs or feet or whatever.
It's so ridiculous. Dude, I remember those state exams. I thought the state exams were so stupid. You know?
I remember I had a laugh about that with Ethan and Michael
Yeah, I'm sure.
because we found the author who wrote it. We found some of his other works, dude, and it was a fun time. Let me see if I can find that. Did I pin it somewhere? No, I mean I could have. Oh, I did not pin it. I should have though. Jump.
Yeah, man. I like Secret of NIMH a lot. I don't know where it kind of sits in your like inner like animated movie list, But for me, Secret of NIMH, very high up there.
Pseudonym is
Um,
pretty good, dude.
I now see why he was like the only dude to ever go against Disney when it came to critical acclaim and like winning Oscars and stuff like that.
It also does
Because
help that he has like ex like Disney animators working with him as well.
yeah. I mean that's how a lot of studios are born. A bunch of people just going somewhere else trying to do something for themselves, not trying to be under the man, you know. Yeah, super high up. This is great. Yeah, I'm excited for next week when we do I know I have the list. Next week is something. An American Tale. Don't even know.
That's the one where they have the Statue of Liberty, dude,
See, that's
and it's bronze.
like Ellis Island or something. Is that what you're talking about?
I don't remember that movie entirely. I do know.
I can't even picture the movie. You know what I mean? I know it's supposed to be good. all five are supposed to be good. That's why I picked them. But
Pineapples don't have sleeves, dude.
yeah, so watch An American Tale for next week.
That was 8 years ago, dude.
8 years ago. It wasn't that long ago.
No, I'm talking about the exam. 8 years ago.
Yeah. 8 years. What's that like? So that's 2012. That's ninth grade. Do you just you just send me you, you just send me the story?
This is not the NPR article. They have the NPR article as well, which is like Ken Jennings was like, what actually did you do to these kids?
Dude, yes, it's all coming back to me.
Ken Jennings was like, "Why did you do this? Who?" First of all, my favorite thing about this is that state exams are always approved by like teachers. So like a
Yeah.
teacher went through, made these questions, and thought they were legitimate, and other teachers were like, "Yeah, that's fine." And like you don't know if they were like all drunk one night when they were creating this, or they just didn't care and just had to send this exam out.
It's probably just they didn't care.
But like what they
Standard,
did is cause a controversy that caused everyone to like untrust the entire state education system for the next couple years to come after that.
you know what's crazy about standardized testing? So like in 3rd grade, for example, right?
Mhm.
I don't know when you start state exams. I think state exams are in 3rd grade is when you start them.
That sounds right, dude. At least in New York, back when
So
we were
yeah,
there.
yeah, New York. So everyone takes a test, right? It's very serious. I remember that in school. Like the New York State test was like the most serious day or
Have your
days.
pencil sharpened.
Yeah.
Have your second pencil sharpened. Bring your spare eraser.
Mm-hmm.
Put up your folders as your shield.
Yep. Yeah,
In
we did.
elementary
We did that.
In high school, no one cares. Like, what's out of here?
Knock them all down.
Elementary school, it's like put the folders up.
But like, what were they supposed to test? Like, were they supposed to test your level of knowledge? Because then I feel like that's just the teacher's fault
I feel like
at
you're
that
supposed to
point.
find state averages. Honestly, that's the point.
That's all it is. It's just for analytics.
I'd assume it's for analytics, or like to see also what else they could focus in for the state. Like if they found like it was they were lacking something in English, I guess for a standardized test, they're like, okay, well this school district has to start doing this. You know what I mean?
So like, it didn't actually have any impact on you, the student.
No, it had nothing to do with your actual grades for school, as far as I'm aware.
Well, yeah, I know your grades. It didn't, but like, they didn't take into account your New York State test score when like, I mean, especially once I got up to middle school for like putting you in certain levels of classes or whatever.
I mean, I feel like there was a part of that because, like, I mean, like, I know I and a couple other people went to Young Scholars. Were you part of that Young Scholars too?
Yeah, I was, but I dropped out of it.
Yeah. So I feel like they did look at standardized testing for that. I'm pretty sure.
It's it's such a weird tests are so weird. As just like an idea. You know what I mean? To give like everyone the same test, and it's like, like in college it makes sense because you're like specified areas, all that. But what if I'm just not good at math?
I mean, I feel like, personally speaking, right? I feel like everyone could have standardized testing to like find out what. I don't believe in classing by grade. That's really obvious.
Oh
I feel
yeah.
like high school has like the best idea, where like, or even middle school, where like you have your section classes,
Mhm.
and some they should introduce in elementary school as well, but they don't. It's kind of hard to do it. But like, if you're really good at something, they just push you in that. It's really terrible.
How do you feel about um grouping you up obviously by like subject because or like sections like levels of good.
I don't want to say competence, but like
Yeah,
proficiency.
yeah,
Because like again,
proficiency. But there's still one more wall that can be broken. Why do they group you up um with your age?
I don't like that. Again, so going back, level of proficiency, I think is like the thing that matters the most.
Yeah.
If you can group people by proficiency and have to do that.
Mhm.
I feel like maybe for your first couple of years of school, they can have you by like year, and that's okay.
Sure, yeah.
Like
I
make sure like
mean,
you get the basics and like okay,
yeah.
you're good. You can count. You can draw between the lines. You know your alphabet. Now we're just gonna go and like real quickly do some quick tests. See where you are, and then push you in that direction.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree.
Like have a baseline. It's like this is the baseline. Once students pass this baseline, take these tests, and then that's where you're going now. That's where your direction is. You'll be good now. It would save a lot of effort,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
And then
that's
like
like Go ahead.
It'd be so similar to like high school and middle school though. But like teachers would be prepared for that though. They'd be like, well, this is what we're learning. They would again specialize in that one thing, so it's
Mhm.
much more easy for them at least to cover.
They also wouldn't have to worry about, like, exactly you said, they've been specialized. They wouldn't have to worry about having to stretch themselves between, like, 2 ends of the spectrum of, like,
Mhm.
your 5th grade teacher, for example. You have to worry about knowing how to teach someone who I mean, first of all, you have to know how to teach all the subjects, which is crazy, but then you also know how to have to teach this one kid who is terrible at history, and, like, you have to figure out where this kid's baseline is, and then know how to teach them properly, whereas you have another kid in your class who studies history in their free time because that's what they love. And it's like they don't need you at all, but you still have to give them attention because if you don't, then um their interest in it could wane because they don't see any they're not reaping any rewards from it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
they're just stretching themselves too thin. And then by the time you get to middle school or high school and you actually get to pick what you want, it's like, well, I mean, elementary school just taught me to be kind of okay at everything.
And it's like really weird though, because like for art, gym, and like music, I feel like they did send you off anyway to like the respective teachers.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Like there's specifically a gym teacher, a music teacher, and an art teacher, and they would go to them for that.
Mhm.
So like, why
Yeah.
is it that they can't go to other people or like maybe just have like no, never. They'd have to go and move to different classes, or like have them stay maybe. But is that like a lot of work for a kid though? Like we get to wonder like how much is a lot of work for a kid?
I mean, I feel like for young kids, they they probably like having just one teacher
Mm,
because, like, a stranger. So then over time, you just have that one teacher to, like, build a bond with. But I don't know, I feel like exactly
I
what
think
you
like
said.
fourth grade's like a big tilt point.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's exactly what you said, where the first couple years, you can have that
Mhm.
to do the baseline to get kids like, "Hey, this is what school is." You know what I mean? And then past that, then you do the sectioning off, and they're, like, used to the whole, um,
It's like
I don't
fourth
know.
grade. I mean, like assuming you're like starting either pre-K, K, or first grade in school.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
well, we'll start with that. So you're gonna have at least 4 years, at most up to 6 years already being there. You're gonna be indoctrinated into that system. So like once you hit like fourth grade, we'll say, so like okay, now you go, you move. Like it's like because like I think like the 10 age is like a good age to start doing that. Like the
Mhm.
movement.
Yeah, I'm not
It's
mad
like
at
it's like
that.
they're not like kids. Kids are like yeah, we can walk to the hallway and go around here. That's not.
Yeah. Um, Funny thing though, in 6th grade, we did switch for science. Science? I think it was science and history. We had 2 6th grade teachers, 2 classes, of course, and, the dude, my main teacher, was, better and, like, knew a bunch about science, and the other teacher, the female teacher, she knew more about history. So when we were to teach those, that we would get up and switch classes for that, like, 30 minutes or
Period.
hour or whatever it
Yeah.
was. Um, so yeah, I thought that was weird. I was like, it makes sense if he knows more if he knows more about science and
It's
can
like
teach the
it's like
entire grade
if he knows more
better.
about science, I'd rather have him teach than have you teach science. If you know
Yeah,
more about history, I'm okay with you teaching. It's fine. Like, it's very easy to teach children with that. Like it's like he knows more. Go see him for class. It's like that.
yeah.
That's yes. Good. Thank you.
And, like, the way teachers teach anyway, it's, like, not supposed to be, um it's not supposed to be deep. Like,
It's very shallow.
yeah, we're learning from them, but they're basing what they're teaching us every day for 108 days every year. Um, there's just a book, and it's the curriculum, and it's here's everything you have to teach, and as long as they do just that,
In
nothing
those
more,
days. Yeah.
yeah, then they taught us. It's like, they're teaching us the bare minimum to pass a arbitrary line. You know what I mean?
At least a standard line.
Yes, whatever. But it's like someone made it up. And it's
Mhm.
like, who's to say that this fourth grader has to learn this by this year? Like there's so many other things, you know? I don't know.
Those are tangent boys.
Yeah. So yeah, an American Tale for next week. Very excited. I like
Where's
Don
the
Bluth very
the
much.
American Tale for education in America?
Education in America, yeah. So yeah, untitled, unfocused. And yeah, until next time, don't send your kids to school.
This is actually a tangent podcast.
So far.
My goal is to actually have a tangent in every part. That's how you know.
We'll see what happens tomorrow. we'll see if it happens. You know what I mean? All right.